Okay, welcome back to History with Mr. Roberts. Now we're here in a place called Kemmel, just inside the Belgian border. And what looks behind me like a small rural house or farmstead is actually a secret nuclear bunker. Now it was built in the 1950s by the Belgian government and eventually became a crisis centre for NATO operations, to do scenario planning and to start planning what would happen in the event of a Soviet attack. Now we're going to take a look inside, and we're also going to look at what was this place actually used for? How did it work day to day? Let's take a look inside. Following the United States' nuclear attacks on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan surrendered. The Soviet Union soon followed with its own nuclear capability, launching a successful test on the 29th of August 1949. Each power raced to develop better weaponry, as we can see here with the US test on Bikini Atoll in 1946. The world was starting to form into two competing blocs, with capitalism facing off against communism, and both with the power of nuclear annihilation. The former British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, now a private citizen, evoked the idea of an iron curtain descending across Europe, with two very different and competing societies facing each other, the communist bloc maintaining its sphere of influence through menacing control. And in 1948, we see the first confrontation between the blocs, with the Soviet Union cutting off road access to Berlin, leaving the British and the Americans to fly in supplies to keep the population alive. By the early 1950s, when this bunker was built, the Cold War had truly begun. Now, it takes about 3 to 4 flights of stairs to get down to the first level. Now, when you get to the first level, you can see the sheer expanse of the bunker itself. And as with any bunker, it has its own infirmary. And the all-important telex room. And it's in the telex room that messages will be sent to different command posts across Europe, but also to those who are actively in active combat at the front lines. Given the nature of the NATO alliance, a lot of the offices are set up for different national representatives. So as we go in here into the command and control suites, you can see the maps on the wall, but you can also see some of the desks that are set up, each with their own telephone line. Now, these were set up for each of the national representatives used in this bunker, and they were able to look down and they were able to direct and also observe any wargaming that was taking place, either during practice exercises or during a potential real threat. Now, as well as multinational collaboration, each of these NATO allies has to look at their own military assets that they have in the theatre of operations. And we can see here on some of the maps that are still left on the walls, we can see some of the armies clearly labelled. So the UK, West Germany and France facing off against the Soviet Union armies. Now, alongside the national commanders, there are also the duty officers working in shifts to keep an eye on the situation on the ground. And here we found ourselves in the heart of the secret bunker. This is the operational command suite. And you can see here where all the staff from NATO will be sitting and the Belgian armed forces. And on all the walls around us are loads of maps showing the NATO allies and countries within the Warsaw Pact. Now, the great thing about this bunker is it's really accessible. So if you're a tourist this summer and you're heading to France and heading to the Mediterranean or to the Atlantic coast, you'll probably go through Calais or Dunkirk. The command bunker is about an hour and 15 from Dunkirk or Calais. So you can do it on your way at the start of your holiday or on the way back. Let me know in the comments how you found the experience.